What's up, guys? Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start off with Azarl. Castle level's at 29. Jump into it as always on my archer.
Is this what passes for a castle these days?
Alright, so I accidentally aggroed all of this, and that's going to make things a little bit more difficult, because it was a Dr. Skull pull. These at the start of castles are generally the best place to put them, I think. He may have just disconnected from the Defendatron, it looks like, so I'm going to drop the volley, see if I can bolt through and kill him. And that was about the best I could have dealt with it right there. I don't know why he disconnected from the Defendatron. Maybe the Defendatron got stuck or something. I think they have the same movement rate, so it might be something you want to look at. Just like play through it a couple of times and see if you can like repeat the problem, you know, and see if what you can do to fix that. I like the Stairmasters though. It does make it a little bit more difficult. Even if I do deal with it, you can see I still took a little bit of damage here. So that's pretty good. But yeah, the reason I like not Stairmasters, Dr. Skulls at the start of your castle is generally the way to easily deal with those type of pulls is you pull the trash mobs back like a room beforehand, and then you just kind of kill the Dr. Skull by himself. But with it being the start of a castle, you can't really pull it back farther than you know where you're starting at, so it's kind of difficult. Also, when there's skeletons coming after you, you don't really have all that much room to maneuver. And a couple people without, like, there's still a couple people that don't use roll, and you know, knights and stuff like that can have a lot more trouble because they get stuck behind all of those minions. Alright, so you had a flanking Pete Poundmore. Unfortunately, I went the wrong way to make use of him, but that's fine. Pete Poundmores generally don't do much against archers. I would even say that maybe charging from behind might be better, because if if a Pete Poundmore comes up and charges me through my skill bar like this, I might not have time to react. But if he's just walking, I can probably turn around and drop bear traps. But either way, I think they're both okay, and I don't think you should expect a ton out of them against archers anyway. Mainly good against knights and mages who don't have like the move fast ability, whatever that's called, Vortex Rift. Is that the right one? I don't know. I don't know what mage's ability is because I don't play it. Lots of these Stairmasters. I think they're pretty good, so that's fine. There's also not a lot of room for me too. Like, these are some of the more perfect rooms for these Stairmasters. If you have a 2 open area, you can get like far enough away where they won't teleport. They'll just walk through a volley towards you. And then if you get too close, the teleport doesn't really work. So these like sized rooms are generally the best. Alright, I guess we're just gonna end up making the Jimbo enraged, but that's fine. Okay. Jimbo's the same thing with Pete Poundmore, so they don't really do much to archers because of bear traps. I got lucky there. Alright, so I like those just because they do a ton of damage now. Charged Cyclopses do close to 1,000, I believe, is what I said before. Which is pretty good. I think if they don't have line of sight with you, they won't teleport. So that's why I did that. Make them stay in the volley a little bit longer. Alright, IMAX. They do decent damage, but, well, actually, because I aggroed 2 groups, this might start to become an issue. I might have to pull back a room. And this is one of those situations, well, I thought that would be one of the situations where I'd be far enough away where they wouldn't teleport. It looks like one of them made it, though. Alright, then there's a Vamp as well. So this is like a lot of damage that you have here. And it's forcing me to pull back through traps and mess up on my potions a little bit. I meant to headshot there instead of use a potion, but that's fine. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty good. Me trying to dance around that ominous orb IMAX kind of forces me to, I think oftentimes will force people to aggro this next group, which is pretty good for you. If I don't aggro that group while I'm fighting the IMAX, then it's possible that the next group is a little bit easy because I can start it off with like a headshot on that guy. I'm not sure why your Defenatron was so far back. I don't know if like you planned him to come around and link to the Scorpio that way, or if it just sort of happened. But he wasn't initially linked to it. See if I can keep dodging these. It's a little bit difficult, but not too terribly bad. Only hit me with one bolt, and that's why I still don't really use Zeke's all that much. Is it's pretty easy to dodge either of their abilities, even when they're enraged. You can see there. That's unfortunate. I guess the dampener's pretty good here because it did force me to not be able to use a volley where I wanted to. Alright. I think I just headshot one of these. And then this volley isn't really going to do anything, but that's okay. Luckily I got 2 crits there. Yeah, these guys are pretty annoying, even for level 28. Like, I'm 2 levels over them, and they're probably the most difficult part of your castle is these Stairmasters. So I would say, you know, once you can get them to level 32, this should go even better for you. You use definitely good rooms for them. Like, there's not really any way to abuse the fact that you're using these Stairmasters. I guess maybe if I pulled back this way, I could force them to start walking towards me, but I still don't have that much room that I can maneuver around. But I might be able to like lose line of sight and force them to come closer to me, use bear traps and volley or something. Alright, and then we have Count Nottingham with 2 Stairmasters, which is pretty good. I'll have to use another potion. So yeah, forcing me to use probably actually 2 potions because I messed up on one of them, and me being 2 levels over is pretty good. I guess your castle was, I think, 29 instead of 28, but either way, like, it's pretty good. Oh, and I actually died. Wasn't paying attention. So yeah, pretty good castle, a lot of DPS in it. I would argue maybe too many Stairmasters, but I mean, what else are we really going to use? I guess I still like those trash mobs. Yeah, I don't know, it's a pretty good castle. We'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, next up we have Mamimooshii. Castle level's 18, so we'll jump into it on my knight.
Let's do this thing.
So I'm just looking at this group up here and saying I wish I was an archer so I could volley it all. Like, dropping a volley right here would be devastating for you because it would kill at least one of these archers, this puppeteer, and like all of these. Like, it's all just grouping up in the middle for me to volley it. Unfortunately I'm a knight, so I can't really do that. But I can easily dodge out of those Cyclops because you know what's coming ahead of time. So that's the first thing I would say, is you want to put stuff behind walls and make it at least a little bit less obvious to the attacker. Spread it out if you're going to put it out in like the middle of a hallway as well, to protect a little bit from volley. Alright, that's the wrong way. Archer here, I'm guessing because you had an extra 3 points, and maybe you, I don't know, you have just like all archers here. I pulled 2 groups, it's not a big deal. Archers just aren't generally the scariest, especially if you can abuse corners like I'm doing here. At least not all archer groups. I think they combo better with like hunger bots on Pinstrike and stuff like that. Obviously you are trying to stop me from abusing this corner at least a little bit, but this trap is just like slightly down too far. It's easy for me to dodge them down towards like the ends of where the fire comes out. Whereas if you're closer, it's a little bit more difficult, I guess. Or you could alternatively use a ballista trap here, or a spike trap on the end or something, if you wanted to. I think ballista traps are a little bit better at forcing people to not abuse corners, because there's this circle that I can't be standing in when it hits. Like, it makes it a lot more difficult to do that in between attacks and stuff. That's unfortunate. Alright. I think this group is overall fine. Maybe the Stairmaster is a little bit too out in the open, because, you know, I can initiate on him, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. Again here, like if I'm an archer or even this guy, this Defenatron is really easy to get access to and just initiate on, like with a headshot or, you know, a smite. So you can make that a little bit more difficult by at least trying to block off like the angle there. Make it so the Jimbo's leading out in front, because he can't take any damage when he's being defended. Nonetheless, still did quite a bit of damage to me because he's enraged and stuff. Generally pretty good against knights. I actually have to get more potions. I think I didn't use any, but I only have 2. Alright, I like the Dr. Skull, I think. I still have to see exactly what specialization he's on. Also, I don't know, there's not really enough small mobs to really benefit from it. It's really only what this puppeteer uses to raises and what the Dr. Skull himself raises. The Cyclops being resurrected isn't a big deal, it's only 1 extra skeleton. So I'd like a bigger group of small mobs beforehand, even if they're like 3 and 4 point mobs. I guess maybe that's why this archer's here, but you can skip over that pretty easily. Yeah, I guess that's why it was there. So you notice how I engaged that, and I didn't even really do it on purpose, I wasn't really paying attention. But now that this happens, like, you have to connect this this archer with this wall. You just have to like put one of these small trash mobs right here, and it would be able to work a lot better for you. Alright, I saw what you were going for there. That's a pretty good idea. You wanted me to go through this jelly wall before I actually spotted the fact that there was a Snotter standing there, and then you get hit back into it with the Cyclops, and then you have the archers charging up as well. Which would be definitely more difficult for a knight to deal with than like an archer, because an archer could just you know, roll out of it. A knight would get stuck inside of this jelly wall and be hit by pretty much every arrow. But either way, it's still a good setup. Alright, I'm gonna go this way because I like dealing with fire traps better than spike traps generally. Although, at the lower levels like this, where spike traps only have 2 active panels, it's probably better for me to go after the spike trap area first. That's fine. Alright, so I don't have any more potions. But I should be at the boss room probably in the next room, or, you know, 2 rooms after this. Yeah, that's the boss room. Alright, so 2 derps, looks like possibly a fake. Robo Shieldatron defending what? A bone puppeteer. With, and he's on enraged. So by the time I actually killed off this Robo Shieldatron and deal with it, everything's going to be enraged. Well, I actually kicked away the Robo Shieldatron there, and he actually delinked, so that made it a little bit easier on me. But what I was going to say is that By the time I actually killed the Robo-Shieldatron and the Puppeteer, everything would be enraged anyway, so I was just going to skip it and go after all the DPS mobs first. Alright, and then this is kind of an easy cleanup from here. Alright. Yeah, pretty good castle. It's made me use 2 potions. I'm 1 level higher than it. A couple of those things that I mentioned earlier on, like blocking off your angles on the Jimbo, making things a little bit more spread out against archers, stuff like that, will definitely help you. So we'll jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, next up we have Ga, castle levels of 20. Before I actually do this, I should buy more potions. That should be something I do. Let's grab a couple. Alright. That was Outlast Castle. Alright, cool. Level 20 castle, level 19 knight should be fairly difficult.
Get ready for a pain hammering.
Alright, so it looks like it could be a lot of these Stairmasters, just looking at it at first, which is going to be a problem, because they're generally pretty good against knights. Like, I'm going to pull back here, get around this corner, so that I can abuse my cleave a little bit. And because if I pull them into a smaller area, they can't teleport as far. Generally, they'll get stuck on a wall or something. Alright, what do we have here? Smelly Warrior, and it looks like Dr. Skull. Okay. That's annoying. I would have killed it right there, but the Robo-Shieldatron went off. Trying to keep an eye on my hit points so I can use a potion when I'm about to die. Yeah, that Robo-Shieldatron is definitely helping a lot. Keeping all of the skeletons alive as well. Probably actually a better than Bodyguard with Dr. Skull specifically, I would say. Because it helps all of the skeletons stay alive, which is pretty important to like create the confusion in trying to actually kill off the Dr. Skull himself. So I like that quite a bit. Oh, mittens. You don't see those every day. Not really my favorite unit. I have a problem spending 10 points on any support in like a 20-point group. I only can use a mittens or a Dr. Skull on support inside of a boss room because I feel like that's the only time it's worth it. Because you noticed, okay, you got everything enraged here, but you only had 2 units to enrage because there's just not enough points to actually make use of mittens, I think. I think 2 Stairmasters there is a lot better than 1 mittens and a Stairmaster enraged. I think you're just going to get more out of them. Alright, that's the wrong way. Trying to figure out what that's pulling. I see a couple derps, that's all I see. Possibly, it's either a really long pull for something or a Dr. Skull. Still don't see anything. Maybe it was just a fake, but a really long fake? I don't know. It's interesting. Alright, what's we got here? Alright, Pete Poundmore. He's a little difficult, especially on the specialization. Generally you have to stun lock him a little bit at a time. Kinda like that, and then get like 1 smite in. Kick him away, wait for your cooldowns to come up. Drag him to you, do a smite. Stuff like that. He almost killed me though. Pete Poundmore is definitely one of the harder things for knights to deal with, at level 20 especially. I used a couple of them in my castle and that pretty much shut down all knights attacking me when I was at level 20. They are very weak against archers though, so it's kind of a trade-off, I guess. Although I think Scorpios are a lot more weak against knights, but a lot stronger against archers. Although archers can technically dodge against all of their attacks and take 0 damage. I think if they hit, it's a lot more devastating for an archer than a knight. Alright, this killer crab I'm not sure about, just because it's kind of going to let me heal up as a knight. I'm going to be able to just spam my healing strike, and eventually I'm going to heal myself to full if I, wanted to. It would take some time, but... just having one random killer crab isn't really going to do much for you. All it's going to do is help the attacker heal up by either dropping a health globe or allowing them to use like healing strike and stuff like that. Alright, let's see if we can get to this Dr. Skull. But of course, again, I don't think about the Robo Shieldotron being on this specialization. This one always gets me. Alright, there we go. So yeah, I definitely like that specialization better than the other. The problem is in my castles I use Robo Shieldotrons a lot on Bodyguard in other situations, like to block off support units like Bone Puppeteers and stuff. And obviously Stairmasters, but I have to switch those out still. So yeah, you can see how difficult these guys are to deal with knights, because you have to be also dodging the fire traps, as well as trying to dodge these Stairmasters. Although the Stairmasters themselves don't do too much damage. It's just adding up with the trap damage and all of that, while trying to like chase them down. It's pretty good. Alright, Jimbo. Kind of the same general thing as you do with Pete Poundmores. You just have to stun lock them for a little while, and you can make it so you don't really take any damage. If I had a little higher DPS, I'd be able to only take like 1 or 2 swipes from a Pete Poundmore as well. I'm gonna use one more potion here. I think I should be close to the boss room. The Hungerbot here as well is helping you out quite a bit. I was about to kill the Dr. Skull again before the Defendertron was going to go off, but the Hungerbot, I can barely see his hook when it's going through all of these mobs. So I guess I'm just going to focus down that first, the Robo Shieldotron, or Defendertron, rather. Alright. So yeah, definitely annoying to deal with. See if I can aggro this before going on the spike trap. I can. You will probably want to move that back like a hex or two, just so you can't aggro it without going on top of the spike trap. Looks like I'm gonna get timed out, which is pretty unfortunate. I don't know. I think I might just either not have enough DPS, or maybe I talked a lot when I was just standing around. Either way, it's a quite a good castle against knights. I think it's a little bit weaker against archers, because a lot of this stuff. I think like your best groups are probably your Dr. Skull groups and your Stairmaster groups against archers, but the like Pete Poundmores and Jimbos are going to get shut down pretty hard if they're using bear traps. I might actually die in this this room. It's pretty likely, actually. Yeah. Just a little bit too much for my knight to handle. So yeah, it's a good castle against knights for sure. I like these mass archer rooms as well, and obviously the one Cyclops just helps quite a bit, and the one Hungerbot as well, because it combos pretty well with the archers. Alright, so yeah, pretty good castle. So that's number 3. We're going to end the video here. As always, if you guys enjoyed, I do please subscribe. If you want to be a part of Eurocast, you can email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. We're doing another beta key giveaway this Friday, so definitely, you know, look for that. That video is already out, so just go over and comment if you're interested. Or if you have any friends that are interested in the game, let them know to comment on that video. We'll be doing another raffle this Friday, so that'll be fun. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.